Writing a great big best-selling book kind of seems intimidating, doesn't it? You see a book on the shelf with a big name, maybe a celebrity on the cover, and you think, oh my gosh, they write too? They're an author? Are they some kind of superhero? What if I told you that that person did not write their book alone? The truth is, most authors utilize people like ghostwriters or coaches, or maybe they have book doctors, and they need editors and beta readers. And every good book needs a second, a third, a fourth, or a fifth eye to rework and strategize through the entire writing process. And that doesn't even count the publishing process. One of the biggest mistakes that authors make is thinking that they can do it all on their own, or even worse, that they have to do it all on their own. So before we dive into today's video, I want to make sure that you have a resource in your hands so that you can have help throughout the entire writing process. So just click the link below as we get started. So the truth is that every book is a team effort. You're going to have other people involved in the process, and you should have other people involved in the process. Even if you think that you have everything finished, your manuscript is complete, it's as great as it can possibly be, you're not gonna wanna just go and publish it on your own and put it up on Amazon, create a book, and then give it out to people without having some other people involved in the process. You don't know what you don't know. There's a lot of things go into writing and publishing and editing and all of the different stages of creating a book. And if you're not sure or you're unfamiliar with some of those processes, you can just skip over them because you didn't know you should do them. Maybe you don't know how to format a table of contents properly, or what you really need to have on your copyright page so that you don't get yourself into trouble. Or what should you have on your back cover? What should your front cover look like? How wide should your spine be? These are little details that having a team of people to help you will help you get the best book you can possibly have. And if you're planning to distribute your books beyond Amazon, if you're trying to get them into bookstores or airport stores, or if you want to present them to speakers bureaus so that you can appear as a credible expert on a certain topic, then you really need your book to be industry standard, which means that it meets all the requirements of a professionally published book, even if you're publishing it by yourself. There's nothing wrong with self-publishing, but you need to have all the pieces in place. You need to know what an industry standard book looks like, what it feels like, and what elements are included. So let's go over some of the people that you're going to want to have help from as you go along through this process. Let's start at the beginning. Before you even start writing your book, maybe you've already started writing your manuscript, or maybe you've already finished your manuscript, but let's pretend that you're at the beginning of the process. You're going to want to have somebody who can help you strategize what this book is going to be about, how you're going to present the information, how you're going to inspire, educate, and sell the reader on your products and services. You're going to want to have somebody with the expertise of what a book should look like, what it should sound like in the reader's mind, and what elements need to be included. One resource you can utilize that I've made up for you is the one-page book planner, and that will help you do exactly what I do with clients to strategize out and plan out what needs to really be included inside of your book. After you have the planning stage done and you know what you're going to write, you know what your outline looks like, you know what the book needs to do in order to get the reader to the goal and to get the reader into your business, then you're going to need to start writing. And once you start writing, it can seem like a really lonely process. Writing can seem like something that you just sit down and you're like in a cabin in the woods all by yourself and you're just typing away, and it's all very romantic, and maybe you have some special tea or a cat on your lap or whatever. The fact is that writers who write in isolation can get into trouble because they're all inside their own heads. And when that happens, a couple of things can block you. You can start getting off track. You can just sort of start writing, and because you know so much about your topic, you're like off in the weeds somewhere. That can be a real problem because you think you're writing great prose, you think you're like really helping the reader and you're so excited, but you've gone so far off track that the reader is completely lost. The problem is that you know too much and they don't know anything about your topic, or they don't know as much as you know. So when that happens, there's this big disconnect, and the author will be writing way up here in these high concepts, and the reader is somewhere down here trying to figure out, like, I don't know what they're talking about, right? So you need to make sure that you have other people on your team who can say, hey, I think we need to pull it back down a little bit. Maybe we need to make it a little bit easier to understand. Maybe we need to add some more examples or a case study or some exercises to help make this really clear for the reader. If you don't have anybody to tell you that, it's really easy to just publish a book that nobody reads because it's too high concept or it's too advanced for that reader. The opposite can totally happen as well. Maybe you're writing at too low of a level and the readers or the people that you really want to attract into your business are a higher level and they already know all of that stuff. They're going to pick up that book and go, oh, they only handle beginners or people who aren't as experienced. If you're trying to attract an audience that's experienced and advanced, then you need to be writing at that level. Again, really important to have feedback from other people on your team to say, hey, let's bump up the content a little bit. Let's put it at a higher level. Or maybe you need to go all the way through from beginner to advanced, and you need to make sure that each reader is brought along for the ride and they're not just left behind. So you've got someone helping you in the planning stage, you've got someone helping you in the writing stage. Maybe it's beta readers, maybe it's a coach, maybe it's a ghostwriter, maybe it's several ghostwriters, who knows. Another thing that you want to consider during the writing stage is the fact that you're going to get in your own head if you're all alone. If you're by yourself writing, sometimes your brain will start playing tricks on you. It'll start saying things like, who are you to write a book? Why are you even doing this? This is such a waste of time. You could just write a sales letter and put it up online and make $10 million. Why do you need to write a book? Maybe it's going to tell you things like you're not good enough, or you don't know enough, or there's already 10 books on this topic. You shouldn't write this book. What happens when you don't have a team behind you that says you need to do this? Remember the reader, remember who you're trying to help. Somebody to push you and excite you and keep you going. You can get stuck and never finish your book and think of what a shame that would be, because you've got an audience out there who needs what you have to teach and what you have to share. And if you never get that book done, there's people out there who will never get that message. So you need a team at that stage as well. Once your manuscript is finished, then you really need a team because what you think is finished is really about maybe 45, maybe 50% of the way to an actually finished book. Because you're going to work with editors, you're going to work with developmental editors or copy editors, people who are going to make sure that your book is structured just right, they're going to give you ideas that you never thought of. They're going to say, hey, you know what would be great here is a call to action. This is a fantastic place to plug your next product. Maybe this chapter over here, we should rework it so that it really just highlights all of the clients that you've helped. Maybe they want to help you reorder the chapters so that it makes more sense within your framework. Maybe they think your framework doesn't work at all and you need to kind of rework it a little bit to make sure that it makes more sense. So many things that an editor does beyond just checking for spelling and checking for grammar. They do those things, and it's really important because if you're relying on, spell check to do your copy editing, you're going to be unpleasantly surprised. But an editor is going to really help you refine your book, make sure that it is tight and it is very well written and it is communicating everything that you want to communicate. Once you are through the editing process, you have another team of people who need to help you on, or who want to help you continue to make this book an industry standard, really well done professional book. These are cover designers, these are copywriters. If you're going to write your own copy, they're going to help you kind of make sure that the words that you say in your back cover and in your front matter and your back matter and your sales descriptions are all really helping you sell that book and sell the message. There's a lot of writing that's involved in a book that isn't actually the manuscript. You're going to be writing things like indexes and tables of contents, and those are all sales writing. The index isn't sales writing, but the table of contents is actually your biggest sales piece of the whole book. So you want to make sure that you have people on your team in the publishing side of things who can create a professional cover, who can make sure that the interior layout is done correctly, who can make sure you have all the necessary information on your copyright page and your acknowledgments and your dedication, and maybe you need a glossary, and what about the advertisements in the back? What the danger of going it alone is that you're going to not know that you need these things, or maybe you do know you need these things, but you'll forget. Maybe you decide that you want to sell to libraries because they're, honestly, here's a little aside, There's more libraries in this country than bookstores, and they actually have a bigger share of the book sales market. And there's a lot of clients and customers who go to libraries, just saying. But if you don't have certain codes in your copyright page, a librarian may not even look at your book because it doesn't have the codes that they need in order to put it on the shelf. Something you might not know, but your publishing team should. Once your book is all published, it's beautiful. You have a copy in your hand. You can smell the ink. Oh, I love that. I love that new book smell. So once that's all ready, then what? Right? Then what? If you're a business person, you probably have a really good idea of how you want to market your book. You want to run it through a free plus shipping funnel, maybe. Maybe you want to sell it at the back of the room when you're speaking. Maybe you want to give it away at trade shows and exhibits. Maybe you want to use it as a sponsored product. Those are all great ideas, but another part of your team should be people who understand book distribution so that you're not relegated only to the avenues that you know. You might understand free plus shipping funnels so well that you can do them in your sleep. You might know exactly how to run Facebook ads to funnel people in there, and that's great. But what about the people who aren't on Facebook? What about the people who aren't on social media at all? What about the people who actually go to bookstores? And yes, there are people who go to bookstores, people who are your clients and your customers and would love to read your book, but your book's not on the shelf because you didn't understand what outlets you need to be available through so that the bookstore can order it. There's so many things that you just don't know that you don't know. And so having a team of people who can help you from the beginning stages of your book all the way through to planning, distribution, making sure that you're doing your marketing and getting out into the media the way you need to get, all of those people are going to help you really knock it out of the park with your book. Because your book is more important and it's bigger than you. It's more important than just a lead magnet. It's more important than just putting it into one little box, one little use, because it can be used in so many different ways. It can bring you more clients and customers than you ever really thought because you didn't think about the fact that maybe you could be in airport stores, or maybe you should be in a gift shop, or maybe you should be at an aquarium. Who knows, right? There's all kinds of different places that you can sell your book. So please don't make this mistake. Don't think that you can do it on your own, and don't think that you have to do it on your own. Because your book deserves your full attention. Your book deserves your heart and your soul and your sweat and your tears, because there might be a few of those too. But it also deserves to have a treatment from a visual standpoint that makes it appear as a professionally produced book. Your readers deserve it, your business deserves it, and your message deserves it. So don't try to go it alone. It's really, really hard to go it alone. It's so much better and so much easier to get some help from outside sources that understand what needs to be done for this book to be as good as it can possibly be. So every author has two choices. They can either rush through writing a manuscript all by themselves, publish it without going through all the channels to make sure that it's written really well and it's edited well and it's produced well, which ultimately could really just harm your reputation and your business. Or you can seek out the knowledge and expertise from other people who can help you get it done right. If you favor the latter and you really want to get some help, I'd love to be that help for you. Go ahead and click that link down below today.